Here's what nobody tells you about becoming a millionaire. Everything you've been taught is designed to keep you broke for decades. I'm not talking about some get-rich-quick scheme. I'm talking about the mathematical reality that if you follow conventional wisdom, you'll be waiting until retirement age to hit 7 figures. But we're living through the biggest wealth creation opportunities since the late 1990s. In 2023 alone, Americans filed 5.5 million new business applications, the highest ever recorded. The combination of AI tools, remote work, and the solopreneur economy has fundamentally changed the game. By the end of this video, you'll understand the exact playbook people are using to compress decades into years. Let's talk about the easiest way everyone recommends to become a millionaire. Invest in the stock market and rely on compound interest. This strategy absolutely works. If you invested $470 a month in the S&P 500 with an 8% average return, you'd become a millionaire. There's just one massive problem. It takes 35 years. If you're 30 and start investing $470 monthly, you'll hit $1 million at 65. You could reduce that to 26 years by investing $1,000 monthly, but you're still looking at your mid-50s. If you want to become a millionaire in 2026, this won't get you there. But here's why I'm bringing this up. The stock market has massive advantages. It's incredibly passive. It runs in the background while you focus on active income. You need zero qualifications and you don't need crazy risks. The S&P 500 delivered 26% returns in 2023, 25% in 2024, and solid returns year-to-date. Right now, the stock market absolutely should be part of your strategy. But if you want to hit $1 million in the next 12 to 24 months instead of decades, you need something that scales faster than market returns. That's what this video is about. Here's what nobody wants to admit. You cannot save your way to becoming a millionaire. I know that sounds completely backwards from a finance channel, but there's a mathematical reason why cutting expenses is the slowest path to building wealth. Let me show you the math. Median household income in America is $83,730. Let's say you're an above-average saver and manage to save 20% of your income after taxes. That works out to roughly $6,100 per year. At that rate, it would take you 164 years to reach $1 million. Even if you've doubled your savings rate to 40%, you're still looking at 82 years. The problem is that saving has a ceiling. There's only so much you can cut. You can't reduce rent below zero, and you can't stop eating. Most Americans are already living paycheck to paycheck. The personal savings rate in the United States right now is 4.7%. That's not because people are irresponsible. It's because after rent, food, transportation, healthcare, and basic necessities, there's barely anything left. So if you can't save your way there, what's the alternative? Every millionaire understands this fundamental formula. Wealth equals income minus expenses. Most people spend all their energy on the expenses part. They're obsessed with cutting costs, finding deals, living frugally. But the people who actually build significant wealth are laser-focused on the income part. Here's the thing. Your expenses have a floor, but your income has no ceiling. You can only cut your spending so much before you hit basic survival needs. But theoretically, there's no upper limit to how much you can earn. Instead of asking, how can I spend less? You need to start asking, how can I earn more? Now, before you say, obviously, I'd love to earn more, but how? Let me explain why most people never figure this out. They're stuck in a system that caps their earning potential. If you're working a traditional job, you cannot scale your income fast enough to hit millions in a short time frame. Let's say you're earning $50,000 a year. If you're excellent at what you do and get promoted, you might see a 10 to 15% raise. After 5 years of solid performance, maybe you're at $80,000 or even $100,000. That's genuinely great progress, but it's still nowhere close to $1 million. The problem with employment is that your income is controlled by people who have no incentive to make you wealthy. Your boss decides your pay. HR decides your pay. And the company budget decides your pay. You can work twice as hard and deliver twice the results, but you'll still only get that incremental percentage bump. This is why, if you want to shrink decades into years, you need to play a completely different game. One where your output is directly tied to your input. But what about the risk? Isn't starting a business risky? The answer is yes. It used to be extremely risky. But that's what's changed. Forget everything you know about starting a business. What worked in 2015 is obsolete heading into 2026. The barriers to entrepreneurship have collapsed so dramatically that the entire game has changed. According to the latest data, 19% of American adults now identify as entrepreneurs. That's the highest level ever recorded. 92% of global economies experienced increased business formation. What changed? 3 massive shifts created a perfect storm. First, remote work normalized independence. Second, digital infrastructure evolved so you can launch global businesses from laptops. Third, AI lowered operational costs so dramatically that starting a business now carries less risk than it did 2 years ago. Here's the key insight. A solo entrepreneur in late 2025 using AI tools can produce the same output as a team of 5 to 10 people from 2020. According to a 2025 McKinsey survey, 3/4 of businesses already use AI in at least one business function. The technology markedly reduces business costs. Enterprise AI spending surged from $1.7 billion to $37 billion since 2023. Real example. A marketing consultant used to need a team for reports, social media, email campaigns, and analytics. Now, one person with ChatGPT, Jasper, and automation tools handles everything. They serve more clients than entire agencies could 2 years ago. The cost structure fundamentally changed. You're not paying salaries, benefits, office space, and overhead. You're paying subscription fees costing less than nice dinners. The risk profile flipped. It used to be capital risk needing $50,000 to $100,000 for office space, inventory, employees, and equipment. Now it's execution risk. Can you do the work and find customers? Capital requirements drop to almost nothing. You can start legitimate businesses for under $1,000, sometimes under $100. Service-based businesses are twice as likely to survive as product-based businesses. Why? Operating costs are so low you can survive and iterate while figuring things out. You're not bleeding $10,000 monthly in overhead. You're spending maybe a few hundred on software. You can test, fail, adjust, and try again without going bankrupt. The global AI market is worth $392 billion now and expected to hit $1.81 trillion by 2030. Conversational AI spending is forecasted to hit $2 billion by 2025. Cumulative savings could reach $80 billion by 2026. When I say you need to play a different game to become a millionaire in 2026, this is what I mean. Create something that doesn't have a cap. Build something that can scale without requiring proportional inputs of your time. The AI revolution made this accessible to regular people in ways never possible before. But just starting a business isn't enough. Most entrepreneurs never get rich because they're too busy working inside their business. They're not building something bigger than themselves. Every person who's hit 7 figures has some form of scalable asset, something that can grow without relying entirely on their personal time. Here are 5 types of scalable assets creating millionaires right now. First, service businesses that run through a small team or freelance network. You step back from delivery and move into strategy, quality, control, and business development. You're not trading hours for dollars. You're building a machine that delivers value while you focus on growth. Let's say you're a web designer. Old model, you take clients and build websites yourself. Income is capped by hours. Scalable model, you position as creative director. Use AI tools for repetitive design and outsource technical implementation to affordable freelancers. You focus on client relationships and new business. Suddenly you're not limited by personal capacity. Second, digital products or online offers. Anything you sell repeatedly without recreating it. Templates, courses, memberships, workshops, PDF guides, automation tools. The AI boom makes this powerful because you can create professional quality digital products faster than ever. People are creating ChatGPT prompt libraries, selling them for $47 and making $500,000 in 6 months. Third, systems and processes that let you handle more clients without increasing stress. Not glamorous, but extremely powerful. When your business comfortably handles 5 clients, then 10, then 20, income grows exponentially. The key is documentation and automation. Standard operating procedures for everything. Email templates, onboarding sequences, project management systems, and AI chatbots handling common questions. Fourth, content that attracts customers while you sleep. Social media, YouTube, email lists, and SEO-optimized blogs. Long-term assets that bring opportunities even when you're not actively marketing. A single YouTube video can bring clients for years. An email list of 10,000 engaged subscribers is worth hundreds of thousands in lifetime value. Creating content is easier than ever because AI helps you research, outline, write, edit, and optimize. Fifth, a lean team or network of freelancers. Often the most affordable route and fastest scaling. Start by outsourcing low-energy tasks, video editing, graphic design, administrative work, data entry, anything not requiring your unique expertise. Here's what most people get wrong. They think building scalable assets means creating massive enterprises. It doesn't. Some of the wealthiest people run businesses with 0 employees and contractor networks. They make 7 figures yearly, working 20 hours weekly, because they've built systems that work for them. Millionaire income doesn't come from doing more work. It comes from building more capacity. Here's the formula. Correct pricing, plus clear positioning, plus tight operations, plus smart outsourcing, plus a scalable asset equals 7-figure potential. Not a guarantee. Execution matters. But the playbook is proven. Thousands have done this in the past 2 years. And heading into 2026, the tools available are better than ever. AI, writing assistants, no-code automation platforms, affordable global talent on Upwork and Fiverr. You can build sophisticated business infrastructure for less than a used car. The question isn't whether it's possible. The question is whether you're willing to do what's necessary to make it happen. Here's the biggest reason. New entrepreneurs struggle to increase their income. They're still operating like employees, except without any benefits. The core problem is they're working in their business instead of working on their business. According to the data, most small businesses have 0 employees. The business owner does everything delivering the service, creating products, replying to emails, marketing, bookkeeping, and customer service. When you're doing everything yourself, your entire business relies on you. Not only is this unsustainable, but your income's permanently capped by your time and energy. Let me ask you directly, what's your time actually worth? If you're trying to build a $1 million business, your time should be valued at least $200 to $500 per hour. But if you're spending 3 hours editing videos or formatting documents, you're valuing your time at maybe $20 an hour. That math doesn't work. When you start actually owning the business instead of just working in it, everything changes. You're thinking in terms of systems instead of tasks. You're asking, how can this run without me? Instead of, how do I fit this in? You're designing processes anyone can follow. You're hiring or outsourcing strategically. You're building assets that work even when you don't. You're focusing on big money-making decisions rather than just delivery. This shift separates 6-figure entrepreneurs from 7-figure entrepreneurs. If that sounds overwhelming, here's the good news. You don't have to outsource everything overnight. Start incredibly small. If you're editing your own videos and it's taking hours weekly, outsource it. Find excellent video editors for $15 to $30 an hour on Upwork. If your client onboarding is messy and takes hours, create a single template and automation sequence. If answering emails drains your energy, set up AI-powered email drafts or hire a virtual assistant for 10 hours weekly. Every task you delegate or automate is time you're buying back. You're freeing yourself to focus on revenue-generating activities. Here's what this looks like for someone trying to hit $1 million in 2026. If you're still doing everything yourself, there's almost no chance you hit that goal. But if you've built systems, outsourced delivery, and created scalable assets, it becomes possible. Not easy, but possible. And here's the part that ties everything together. Once you start earning more money through this leveraged approach, you can accelerate your path by investing intelligently. Here's what most entrepreneur content skips. Building a high-income business is only half the equation. The other half is investing that income intelligently. Because if you make $500,000 but spend $490,000, you're not building wealth. You're just living an expensive lifestyle. The wealthiest people live below their means and invest aggressively. Aggressive investing means putting as much as possible into proven wealth-building vehicles. Let compound interest work for you! If you're building a business using these strategies, target $200 to $300,000 in annual profit within 12 to 18 months. Let's say you build a business generating $300,000 in annual profit by mid-2026. You're living on $80,000. That leaves $220,000 to deploy. Reinvest $70,000 back into the business. That leaves $150,000 to invest in wealth-building assets outside your business. Why invest outside your business? Diversification protects you. You don't want 100% of your net worth tied to one source. This is where the stock market becomes valuable. If you invest $150,000 into diversified index funds like the S&P Go Hacker, you're instantly invested in hundreds of companies. The S&P 500 has averaged 9 to 10% annual returns long term. It delivered 26% in 2023 and 25% in 2024. Even assuming a conservative 8% return, that $150,000 becomes about $162,000 after 1 year. If you keep generating high income and investing monthly, the compounding accelerates. Add that to your business equity, which could be worth $600,000 to $1.2 million. You're looking at well over $1 million in total net worth. This is how people go from zero to millionaire in 3 to 5 years. Build high-income businesses, live below their means, and invest the difference aggressively. What if the market crashes or your business fails? You manage risk, but don't let fear paralyze you. People who build wealth take calculated risks during peak earning years. If you're 30 and invest in index funds, you have decades for recovery. If you're building a scalable business using the lean AI model, your risk is lower. Start now, not next month. Not when you feel ready. Time is the most valuable asset in wealth building. Every month you delay is compound growth. You're giving up. Here's your action plan for becoming a millionaire in 2026 or shortly after. First, accept you cannot save your way there. Stop cutting $50 monthly and start increasing income by $5,000 monthly. Second, choose a scalable business model, leveraging your skills and AI tools. Service-based businesses have the highest survival rate and lowest startup costs. Third, build systems from day one. Document processes, automate where possible, outsource tasks that don't require your unique expertise, and work on your business, not in it. Fourth, invest aggressively. Take business profit and deploy it into diversified index funds. Don't time the market. Consistently invest and let compounding work. Fifth, stay consistent. This isn't get rich quick. It's compressed decades into years. You still need to show up daily, execute, learn, and adapt. But if you do these things, hitting 7 figures in net worth within 2 to 3 years is absolutely achievable. Everything we've covered is the playbook. The information is out there. The tools are available, and the opportunities exist. The only question is whether you'll actually do something with it. If this video gave you a clear roadmap, hit that like button and subscribe to Finance Flash. Drop a comment with your biggest obstacle to building a 7-figure business. All right, let's build that million. I'll catch you in the next one.